It is just like real cake batter in so many ways, and the ways that it isn't are all the best ones. Welcome back to the Anabolic Hub, where we make anabolic deliciousness. We're back inside my kitchen today, and we're doing another original recipe, Anabolic Edible Cake Batter. If you've ever made a cake before, you know how delicious some of that batter can be before you pop it in the oven. Well, this version is going to be no different, except that it's going to be loaded with protein, safe to eat, and ready to eat in a matter of minutes. It is so easy to put together. It is so tasty. You're gonna wanna have it as a snack every single day. It's definitely going to be ideal for any weight loss plan, any main gaining plan, and definitely any shredding plan. So, with no further ado, let's get things started by having a look at the ingredients. Here we go. Oat flour, vanilla-based whey casein blend, vanilla-based casein protein powder, Swerve, confectioners, plain non-fat Greek yogurt, unsweetened almond milk, cake batter flavoring. So I just wanted to break in real quick here to remind you to smash the like button. Consider subscribing if you're not subscribed. And we were talking about edible cake batter, so why wouldn't you want to subscribe and see what else I come up with, right? And why don't you tell me in the comments section, what's your favorite flavor of cake? Let's go with the cake itself and the frosting. What's your combination? Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, back to the video. This is another one of those magical recipes where we're mixing together some dry ingredients, we're mixing together some wet ingredients, and we're combining the two for some anabolic deliciousness. So let's get things started here by mixing together our dry ingredients first. First dry ingredient we're going to need is going to be 45 grams of oat flour. If you don't have oat flour, it's very simple to make. Take the amount that you need, put it in a blender, grind it up until it's a very fine flour-like consistency, and you're done. You got yourself some oat flour. Here we have 45 grams of it going into our dry ingredient bowl. The next dry ingredient is going to be 32 grams of your vanilla-based whey casein blend. If you can get the Cake Pop flavor by PE Science, this is just going to taste that much better. However, I have used a regular vanilla flavored whey casein blend mixture, and it has come out just as good because of the other ingredients that we're putting in. But if you want it to be 10 out of 10, according to this recipe, you're going to want to use this, the Cake Pop PE Science whey casein blend. Here we have 32 grams going in. And of course, that last gram always wants to fight me, but we got it in, 32 grams of our PE Science whey casein blend on the money. And helping us get even closer to that cake batter texture, we're going to be putting in an additional 10 grams of our vanilla-based casein protein powder. Don't substitute whey here. It's not going to work the same. It's going to change the texture. It's going to make the batter way more soupy, less authentic, and not the way I told you to make it. So remember, casein protein powder, vanilla-based, 10 grams, in it goes. And don't worry, I haven't run out of the Swerve granular. That's not why I'm using the confectioners here next. It's because the texture is much better if you use the confectioners. Also, the flavor I found to be a little bit more authentic to actual cake batter. So next up, we're going to be putting in 10 grams of our Swerve confectioners. And that is all of our dry ingredients. Next step is going to be to, of course, mix or sift all of them together. Definitely don't sleep on the sifting. I know I say it all the time for various reasons, but in this case, you want to make sure you get all of the dry ingredients well incorporated with each other. You want a nice, even textured batter. You don't want to have some parts that taste too much like cake, some parts that taste like casein protein powder, some parts that taste like the whey casein blend. Just mix it all together. The more thorough you are, the better this is going to taste and the more happy you're going to be. Next up, we're going to start mixing together our wet ingredients. First one's going to be 80 grams of the plain non-fat Greek yogurt, negative scale measuring system. And with that little bit there that I scooped up off the edge, we have 80 grams of the plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Exactly. Next up, we're going to be adding in 100 grams of almond milk. Please remember though, if you're using different brands of casein or a different brand of whey casein blend, you're going to need to add in less than this just to make sure it all absorbs correctly. I'd much rather see you add in less and be able to add more, because you can always put more in, but you can't take any out. 100 grams works for me. That's what's going in here. And our final wet ingredient is going to be 5 grams of our cake batter flavoring, or extract, or whatever you want to call it. Although I find it very hard to believe that they made a cake and extracted it and put it in this bottle, so it's more likely that it's flavoring. So I'm going with flavoring. 5 grams of it going in. Then we want to give those wet ingredients a quick mix. And once you have good disbursement of all of your wet ingredients with some Greek yogurt chunks left in there, you know that you're done, and it's time to start adding in our dry ingredients, which we'll do in 3 separate batches. Batch number 1, batch number 2, and of course, batch number 3. And once you have this type of consistency, you know that you are good to go and that your edible cake batter is ready. Nothing left to do but to put this into a serving dish and take it over to the taste test table. And we're back at the taste test table yet again to enjoy a decadent anabolic treat. Our cake batter here is high in protein, tastes just like the real thing, can definitely crush any cake batter, or heck, maybe even any cake craving that you're having. There is over 45 grams of protein in our batter here. The calories are under 400. It is a perfect snack to kill any cravings, to get you to the next meal, to leave you satisfied, wondering, what did I just have? I don't know about you, but I remember back in the day, my grandparents would bake cakes, my parents would bake cakes, and the best part, and the part that we waited for as we watched them doing the cooking process, was hoping we'd get to lick the bowl. And man, when it came up to lick the bowl, it tasted so good. It was like eating pure sugar and fat and everything bad all at once. When you're a kid, you don't really care. Now that you're an adult and say you have a fitness goal or two, it's less than ideal to be eating cake in general, let alone baking regular cake. But heck, if we can have a high protein anabolic version of the cake batter as a way to enjoy our snack, why wouldn't we do it? And that's exactly what I've created here. Super excited for you to try it. I'm super excited for this taste test. I think I've digressed enough. With no further ado, let's pick up our spoon and we'll dive right in to our first bite, best bite every time with this. Don't care what you say, here we go. Ooh, oh, wow. The sweetness factor is absolutely incredible. It's actually thicker batter than you would think when you go to put your spoon into it. Having let it rest for about 5 minutes or so, it's already thickened up. A lot in part due to that casein protein powder that we put in, along with some from the blend. But that casein powder really helps give it a thick cake batter type consistency that I think works really well. I tried just using the whey casein blend, even added a little bit more in, and it still was just a little too soupy. As we know, casein protein powder, oftentimes with our baked goods, will make them a little bit denser, a little bit thicker. We're not baking here, so we don't have to worry so much about that, but adding just a little bit in really helps thicken this up. I think it's gonna help you really feel more satiated. I know it has for me. Let's go in for bite number 2. This is pure gold right here. If you would all have ever eaten cake batter and you've been like, wow, this is incredible, I wish there was more, and you flipped the bowl clean, you are gonna love this recipe. It is just like real cake batter in so many ways, and the ways that it isn't are all the best ones. High in protein, lower in calories, lower in fat. It's such an incredible treat. If you melted down an Anabar, it would taste maybe this good, but I'm not even sure. That's how good this tastes here. An incredible snack. And even there not being a ton of volume to it, it's nothing that's like, you know, protein ice cream or anything like that, obviously. It's still very thick, very dense. This sits really well in terms of a snack. Easily gonna get you to the next meal. If you're craving anything after this, I'd be shocked. By the time you get to the end of this snack, it's just before you reach flavor fatigue where you don't want any more. It's just the right amount. It fits perfectly into any meal plan. You probably have most of the ingredients already. If you don't, you can easily order them online. I know that cake batter flavoring is specifically available on Amazon, and you can also get it at Walmart. Those two places always have it. And of course, if you wanted to get that PE Science Cake Pop Whey Casein blend, just helps enhance the flavor a bit more. But if you only have a vanilla-based whey casein blend or you make a mixture at home yourself, it's gonna come out really good. A big part of that flavoring comes from that cake batter flavoring that we put in there. It just gives it way more of a cake batter flavoring punch. Something that's this easy to put together. It takes no time at all. It took me about 10 minutes to put it all together, and I'm moving the camera around trying to get the right angles. If you're doing it at home and you have all the ingredients laid out, and if you've made it a couple times already, wouldn't be the slightest bit surprised if you can get it done in 8 minutes or less. It's a nice quick snack to put together. I mean, there's really not much more to say other than it's absolutely delicious. But it's getting to be about that time. I gotta get up out of here, so I'll see you in the next one. Bye.